Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today is yet another new day in a teaching space. I hope we are living and not just for those who are new to this channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to our teaching space. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for those who are returning subscribers, oh my God, thank you so much for finding reason to always return to our teaching space to watch more. Before I go on, in today's video, I want to give a shout out to my fellow relationship advisors. The first one is Faideza. If you want to learn more about relationships, relationship hacks, Faideza is the place. Faideza is just like you can go there and learn so many stuff. And then the other one is also Louisa Oye. Louisa Oye. I call her my in-law because of you don't want to know. So if you also want to learn about love, life, and marriages, you can always sign in to Louisa Oye. So thank you very much. Straight away to today's video. What are we talking about? Yes, in today's video, we are going to talk about the truth, the brutal truth about being single. What people don't tell you. Of recent, a friend of mine asked me. He asked me a question actually. He was like, is it true that single women are really very happy single? Most of them feel like they're okay, they have their money, they can go anywhere they want. Is it true? I told him, you know what? This is really the truth. This is really the truth. And it brings me to this lonely sometimes. Yes, there is this bout of loneliness, It's not all the time, but it comes. There are these moments like, for example, maybe you're going through something and you just don't have one person to tell it to. You have to spread it out to your friends, to your family. And it really becomes so difficult in a way that your information ends up splitting out to so many people and not just to one person whom you can just come and talk to and tell them what is happening to you. Like directly, you have this one person that you can talk to. So yes, it really gets lonely. So yes, I definitely feel lonely during those moments. That's why I said it's not all the time. I feel lonely during those moments because I don't have who to tell stuff, like one direct person to tell stuff. So, oh yes, I guess there's also one genuine cliche of wanting someone to cuddle, Yes, it's the truth. And, sometimes I just hold my pillow in a certain way. And yes, yeah, like I said, I'm not ashamed about it. And that's it. It's not all nights. It's just some nights. And then the next question is, do you sometimes feel like, do I ever feel like no one really wants me? Yes, there are those moments where you feel like no one really wants you. But at the very first phase, you're like, yeah, I'm living my life. I'm not ready for a relationship and all that. And then 2 to 3 years later, you're like, does someone really want me? Would someone really like me? Is there something wrong with me? And let me tell you guys, there are people who never meet the one. There are people who never meet the one. Or there are people who have had so many of the one, like 1 or 2, 3, 4 marriages. And no, it's not their fault entirely. It's not their fault. But I don't want that kind of life, But then again, sometimes it's not what we want. Shit just happens. And of course, we are not settling. We are not settling for less just because we want to move on. And maybe I'll meet the one when I am 70. No, God, please, not when I'm 70. But I know I'll meet the one. So there are those moments you feel like no one really wants you. But I also understand that this is just a phase of self-discovery and preparedness for that one person that, guys, they always say there's always someone for everybody. That's it. And I strongly believe in that. There is always someone for every one of you out there. So, And then the other one is people find so much meaning in relationships. A partner to share ideas, plans with, like all that, and all that. So, what meaning do you find in being single? What would you say if someone asked you that question, honestly? And I'm sorry I had to transform this video into a Q&A kinda. Like, it's the best way I can tell you guys the brutal truth about what people don't tell you about being single. So what I find meaning in being single is the fact that I am very confident that I can do it alone. I always tell you guys that before you go for someone, do you love yourself? Can you do it alone? Can you do it without the other person? So this phase of being single has helped me understand that I can do it alone. I mean, I don't live with my parents. I don't have to rely on anybody. I don't have to rely on a partner. I don't have to rely on relatives. Like, I am fully capable of doing it alone. So that's the beauty. That's where I find meaning. You cannot be alone. Then how can you be with other people? Is it possible that you can be with other people if you cannot be by yourself? So that is something meaningful for me. And guys, there is no doubt in my life that I can do this life thing alone. I can do it alone. And I feel like it's kind of cool that you don't have to rely on anybody to be yourself. So nice in a way that, ignoring the sad fact of I am alone, I'm doing this alone, it's so beautiful to know that you can rely on yourself financially, emotionally, and sexually. You don't have to rely on anybody. I don't mean I'm doing other things, but you can be alone. You can survive. What I mean here is that in those times of stress, up and downs, like, I have this strong foundation because I have been through it alone. So it becomes easier for me in a relationship to manage it better. I have managed it alone. So what are you saying? Yes, when bad things happen to me, I know that I'm going to be fine. I know that I may go deep down, but my rock and foundation, which I have built for myself, will basically make me float at the top. The fact that I have been able to do it alone makes it so beautiful. Truly, just going back to the question, the most reliable thing about this is that I can do it alone and I am confident in myself. And then the other one is, do you sometimes feel you've been so single for a long time that even if you met someone, you may not fit into them? Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I was telling my friend some time back that, these people have this thing of reconciliation. But guys, let me tell you the truth. There's some relationships that don't deserve a reconciliation. They don't. I am not against reconciliation, yes. It's good to give second chances. But there are some relationships that don't deserve that. So I was actually telling my friend that I think even if this person ever came back to me, I won't be his type anymore. And he won't be my type. I feel like I am even beyond my type. I am not also my type anymore. So I have those feelings sometimes of, I don't think I can manage relationships anymore. You feel like you've been by yourself for a long time and you feel you're okay with it. Yeah, those feelings are there. They are human. Like, you feel like I've managed it alone all this time. So, I have my life all laid out. I have my routine. I know the things that I enjoy doing. I know the things that annoy me. So, the things that I do in terms of social life, in terms of hobbies. So imagine just fitting someone else into this. What? Like, all those thoughts come in. But of course, if we meet the person that we really, really want to be with, trust me, there is no way you're going to be busy for someone you love. Like, I am willing to compromise my time, my commitments just for the right person. I mean, who don't do that? Time is everything. If you cannot have time for someone you love, then you're wasting time. You're wasting your time and you're wasting their time as well. So it was just to answer that question of, do you sometimes feel like you are okay the way you are? Like, sometimes you really feel it's all good. But remember, it feels lonely sometimes. And then the other one. Guys, I made my nails, but they are terrible. So yes, have you ever felt like you met someone whom you thought was the one, I love this question. Yes, yes. Someone whom I thought was the one. And then I'm like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And then they went back to where they have been all my life. Can you imagine that? What am I trying to say? It means as we dated, as we got to know each other with this person, we realized that we're not just good for each other. And guys, the worst thing you can do to someone is waste their time. If you feel like someone is not the one, if you feel like someone is not matching you, if you feel like someone is not ticking all your boxes, please let them go. Let them go and find someone. Let them go and have the time to find someone else who really ticks their boxes. But guys, I know sometimes we say that we are not settling. No, I don't mean that you should settle. But there is no one who is perfect. Osvaldo, I'm going to tell you this. No one is perfect. It's just in the imagination. You just have to compromise and sacrifice. If there are some things you can compromise, fine. If there are those you cannot compromise, hey girl, some things you cannot compromise. Like you cannot compromise a cheating partner. You cannot compromise disrespect. So yes. And guys, most times when you meet someone, you even be like, oh my God, oh my goodness, this is it, this is it, this is it. This is the person I'm going to get married to. This is the person I'm going to have kids with. And do you know why I'm laughing? Of late, I told someone, you know what? That is all infatuation you feel for me. Guys, if there's someone who is point blank, it's me. Like I have told you in my previous videos that I am even scared of myself because these days I will tell you the truth. I just told him, no, that is infatuation. That's not love. And what is love? Love is a beautiful feeling. And guys, what is love to you anyway? I know I gave my simple version. Some people say that love is a feeling, and then others say love is a choice. But for me, I feel like when you fall in love, that's a feeling. But when you stay in love, that's a choice. That's a choice you're making to stay with this person. Yeah, and this comes to like people who have stayed for decades. Guys, I have couples who have confessed to me that achichi, love or marriage is not perfect. I mean, there are days you don't want to be with this partner anymore. There are days you don't want to stay anymore, like you want to leave. But because of the love you built over the years, you make a choice to continue loving them, to continue being with them. So, are you actively searching? No. Guys, to be honest with you, right now, I'm so busy with my life. I am at a point where I feel like I am so vulnerable. I feel like I'm so vulnerable. In my own opinion, I feel like it's not good to fall in love when you're vulnerable. At this point in my life, I'm trying to fix so many things. And I don't want to admit this person into my life who will think that I am just after something. I feel like I first need to fix me, to fix that bit of my life before I can finally have this person again. You know, I am not actively searching. Like I'm so busy with my life right now. So that's it. That if the right person comes, compromise. And then someone said, can you lower your expectations? Can you lower your expectations in terms of the kind of person you want to marry? No. Why would you lower your expectations? I mean, like I said, there are some things you can really compromise. That is not lowering, guys. It's a compromise. It's not like you're lowering. It means they have it, but they may not have it all. No one is perfect. So no, don't just lower your expectations. But if you can create a balance somewhere. I hope I'm not confusing you with these guys. If you can create a balance somewhere where the two of you meet, where the two of you meet, it will be easier to have this relationship hold. So please don't lower your expectations because you feel desperate, because you feel like everyone is getting married, you know. No. You don't want to make mistakes over and over again. Do you ever get annoyed when people ask you why you're still single? Yes. Yes. Of recent, my grandmother asked me, what happened to that relationship? I told her it ended. I told her it ended. Guys, I'm laughing about it because some things are better off left where you dropped it. Then she asked me, then what are you still doing? Why can't you find someone else? You know, people make you feel like there's something wrong with you. People make you feel like, how come you're single? And then others be like, oh my God, who would really dump someone like you? You know, like all those questions. People dump, people pick and dump, people move. But those questions really annoy me, you know. Who wouldn't want to be in a relationship? Who wouldn't want? But you don't just dump yourself on anybody. You don't just throw yourself on anybody. Of recent, some guy told me that he wanted to love me. He has a wife. And then I asked him, what makes you think I can be your second wife? If God has not yet brought for me that one man who is not married, then I am not. Then he's like, so where do you think you're going to get that man? People really have different perspectives about single mothers, but we are going to talk about that. And you know what I told him? I told him I am not desperate. If everybody who is going to come to me is married, then I am not getting married. Like I told you, sometimes I feel comfortable being single, happy, no stress. Where have you been? Whom have you been talking to? Why are you home late? No stress. No stress. Yes, so I told him I can stay like this all my life. What do I care? I have 2 kids. What do I care? So guys, so there are always those annoying questions as a single. There are those annoying questions people will ask you. People think you are intentionally single. I'll just tell you that everyone's perspective of being single is different. But mine right now is about me realizing that I am ready for a relationship. And the truth, guys, is it doesn't mean that, yeah, after being single for a long time, I really feel like I am ready. I have dated myself enough. I feel like I've understood relationships. I feel like I am not going to make the same mistakes again which I made in my previous relationship. Who is worth it? Not just finding, who is worth it? Who is worth it? Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I would really want to hear your thoughts about relationships, about being single. This video was like therapy for me, if you ask me. Till then, peace out.